a little bit of a pre-show, a minute or two, and then I can try to cope with some kind of a, I don't know, what do you call it, intro here.
Okay.
And then we just like slide right into the business side of things.
You got it.
If this is about the business side of things, I'm not quite sure. Actually.
I don't know. We're just gonna have a simple conversation.
We're sure are going to have a conversation. I don't know if it's going to be that simple though, but that remains to be seen. Lots of stuff to talk about. I mean, you are heavily into education and tech, like both ways, huh? It seems.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do all the time.
Cool. All right. Why don't we just roll with it? So this is once again Be Smart on Air, the completely mind-bogglingly amazing EdTech show from the North Pole, almost. Northern Sweden connecting globally. I'm Niilo, and today I've got with me here Mattina from the US on the other side of the pond. Way cool. Hi, Kim.
Hello there, Niilo. How are you?
I am great.
Thank you for having me today. I'm really excited to be here.
My pleasure altogether. It's great that we managed to, like meet in spite of the time zones stuff, always messing things completely.
This is true, but we have to make it work. So I'm flexible. It's fine.
Right. And I'm at work, and it's like, what is it? I'm completely, I have 20. It's at least it's 22nd, April 22nd, and I'm afraid it's Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
And you're at work?
Yeah, I'm at work. So, like I said a bit earlier when we were getting the engines fired up here, that I can't do this stuff at home. Too many distractions. The fridge, the telephone, and lots of other things.
Phone.
Domestic things. You know all about that.
I know. Hey, and today's Earth Day.
All right. Meaning actually what? Switching off the lights and all that?
Yeah, try to, recycle, reduce, reuse.
Yeah. It's Earth Day every day for us here, so I hope.
Well, it should be Earth Day for everyone every day.
Yeah.
There's one day that everyone could recognize it.
Should we switch off like in the middle of the broadcast or something?
No, we're fine. Just recycle your.
I don't feel like switching off as long as the tech works. Hey, I'm just going to roll with it. That's for sure.
That's fine with me too.
So let's see your location. I'm at the North Pole, not quite. Very, very northern Sweden, like I said. I often say, just to make make it a bit clearer where I'm located at, say that it's 1 hour jet flight north of Stockholm. And if by any chance people have any idea where the capital of Sweden is, not Switzerland, Sweden. So then you get the idea. Flying 1 hour, that's a ways, and Stockholm is kind of in the northern parts of Europe anyway. So it's my location is way up north. You are in New Jersey, right?
New Jersey, yeah. So, of course, I'm in the U.S. and I'm on the East Coast. So I live near the Jersey Shore. Probably, well, everything in Jersey is an exit off the Parkway. So I live off of exit 58 from Little Egg Harbor, New Jersey. So I'm more along the shoreline. So we have, nice beaches and the boardwalk and amusements, and it's actually really nice where I live in the spring, summer, and then the fall months. But yeah, so I live in southern New Jersey. It's near 20 minutes north of Jersey.
20 minutes north of
Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Right. Yeah. It's been way too long. I've been over there on your side of the pond. Well, actually, a couple of years ago, briefly, we visited my sister and my brother-in-law. My sister's been living there like since way back when, ages. But before that, it's been a really long time. When I was young, I spent some time in the States, but well, it's been way too long.
You should come back and visit.
You know what? When I come next time, I'll let you know in advance.
Yeah, definitely. You'll have to let me know. I'll have to show you some of the attractions we have here in the East Coast in New Jersey. So
looking good. Sounds good. Looking great. I like that. What about your background, Kim? If we go way back in time, like where did you go to school?
Well, I'm originally from New York, so my schooling years were there, and then I went to college down in Jersey. So I have a bachelor's degree in computer science, and then I went to school for teaching. So I'm certified in teaching, and after that, I've gotten into the education field. Started out as a technology teacher because of my background in technology with my degree, and then from there on, it's been history really, because now I'm at my job where I'm at, and I really love my job. I'm a technology integration coach for middle school, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade in at the William Davies Middle School in Mays Landing, New Jersey. And what my responsibility is really is to push technology into the classroom and provide professional development and resources for staff there. So, like, for example, if a teacher wants to use Google Tour Builder, they don't know how to use it, they would come to me, ask me to provide them assistance with implementing that tool into their lesson to make it more meaningful by using the technology. And then I would teach the students how to use the tool and teach them how to use their assignment requirements into the tool so that they have something to present basically using the tool. So I do that. I'm really, I provide a lot of resources for staff to them to reference, via Google Classroom, my website, my blog is a big one. And then every week I provide professional development every Tuesday, and it's really open. The topics are open. It can range from Google Classroom all the way to Kahoot. Anything. Website design or Google Forms. Just a quick, little session. It's supposed to be about 15 minutes because it's at the end of the day and everybody. So it's a really quick session. So then that's my job at work is to provide those kind of responsibilities. And then on the side, I have my own excuse me, I have my own technology consultant business, which is the Tech Lady LLC, and I provide computer repair services, consulting with G Suite for Education. I provide professional development to school districts and small businesses and individuals on G Suite. Just trying to help people with technology, tutoring them one-to-one, maybe setting up their home network or computers or printers, or if they have problems with their equipment, I help them with that too. So yeah, I try to. It turned out I started at that just because I wanted to help people. I saw the need in my area with senior citizens not being able to, get assistance, getting ripped off, and being taken advantage. I did that, and my main clientele is really senior citizens.
Okay.
Yeah, so I try to help them and give them the best service as I can. And now I've been doing it for 4 years, and my clientele has expanded. So it's fun. It's actually, I get a lot of reward out of that because I sometimes I think of it as like a puzzle. try to figure out the puzzle and solve their problem. That's the way I look at it.
Sure,
I guess
sure.
that's the geek in me,
Kim, are you teaching like full time?
Yeah, I teach full time at my school, and then I do my business, part time in the evening or on the weekend.
You work like 150%, like most people, huh?
Yeah, I try. It comes and goes. You know what I mean? You have to roll with it. So
Sure, that's
I
the way it
won't
is.
get any phone calls for consultant or computer repair for like 2 weeks, and then I'll get 3 right in a row. It's just weird how things go like that. But yeah, so it's I can make my own schedule with that.
What about the work you do at school? Do you have like regular classes there, and your schedule? You have a schedule you need to stick to, or how does that work?
Well, because my position is unique, I'm a technology integration coach, so that I am a certified teacher. I have to go by, I don't particularly have a set schedule at my school because of my position, because I'm really responsible to support all the teachers in school.
Yeah, right.
So I have to go by. So if they need me all day, I go by their schedule, when they have lunch, when they have prep. So I really don't have a set schedule. Sixth grade teacher, then I go through, that's my schedule. Whatever her schedule is, that's my
Sure,
schedule for the day.
understand.
Yeah. So it's kind of, it's good because I'm flexible and I don't get bored. But then, I could only be at one place at one time. I can't
Sure.
do up.
Sounds pretty neat anyway. I have a full-time teaching job, pretty much, not quite, but well, I got, what do I have? Something like 1 hour a week, 1.5 hours, whatever, for some kind of tech. Not tech that much. I mean, talking about tech, then I feel we're talking about the computers and wiring and all that. I don't care much about that. I'm no good at that either. But the pedagogical side of things. So I've got some supporting to do here as well, and it's not that easy to fix that, since I have this darn schedule as well with the regular stuff,
Yeah, I find, like, I have, being in the position that I'm in, I feel one of my biggest challenges is to be on top of what's coming out with updates, and I'm sure you feel the same way. It's so, the pace is so quick that it's so hard to be on top of all these updates that come out. And I try to read blogs and I get email notifications on what's coming out or what's out or new features. And to me, that's the biggest challenge, is just trying to stay afloat with that. And then prioritizing who gets to, who you service first. It's really, for me, it's my workflow is, if they need my services, they fill out a Google form, and I look over what they need and what they're asking for, and then I'll schedule them. And if there's a conflict, then I just let them know I can't help them that day. I'm busy, and we reschedule for another day. But for me, those are my 2 biggest obstacles, is keeping up with the updates and getting them out to staff so they can have knowledge of them, and then just prioritizing, like, what you're doing.
Yeah, sure.
And
it's hard.
It's hard.
It is. Exactly. What kind of updates are you talking about now? Is it like in the Google sphere, or generally speaking within tech, pedagogical tech?
But I mean, both. Like my school, we're a G Suite for Education school district. So I mean, we have most of our and more of our students are all on G Suite. So we have some teachers using Google Classroom, some teachers using Edmodo. I think that's one of our obstacles, is that we need to have one platform.
Yeah,
so
that sounds complicated if it's like fragmented like that.
Yeah, because then like if students, if one student has a teacher that's using Google Classroom, and then that same student has a teacher using Edmodo, that's two platforms, and it's not. To me, that's confusing. As a student, I would be confused.
What do they say, students, then?
They don't say too much.
Okay.
They
No
don't
one asks
really.
them, what? Oh.
Yeah, they don't really. They just do what they need to do, and they,
Well,
they'll
sure.
go into Edmodo, and
I guess both teachers and students do what they need to do.
They just do, yeah. So I mean, that part is challenging. So what I try to do is, most of staff, and like I said, all of the students in our school are using G Suite. So I try to push out more of the Google updates to both staff can, but I focus more on the Google side of it.
So there's no like school policy that this is what we do and this is how we do it about the tech or the platform used, the educational platform?
No, like our administration just leaves it up to the teacher and the teacher's discretion on what they use in their classroom. So, like I said, we have most of our teachers using Google Classroom, but there are a few that are using different platforms. And, it's just hard for me to try to help them.
I bet.
But I do the best I can if they come to me, and usually they don't, because they're experts in that platform themselves. So they're pretty much independent and they don't need support. But I try to help whoever I can.
Sure, of course.
And just do the best I can with it. So those for me, getting out the updates as quick as I can and becoming familiar with them is a challenge for me anyway. So
is that common, by the way?
It's so quickly changing.
Oh, absolutely. Is that common in the States, Kim, that schools have several, whatever you call it, like pedagogical educational platforms like that, and it's up to the teachers what they use? Sounds pretty darn confusing.
It's a challenge, and our school also is BYOD, bring your own device. Because our school right now,
do they bring their own stuff?
They do. So our school right now, at one point or another, a few years ago, we received a grant that gave us a lot of money for students to be one-to-one. So at one point, I guess it was like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, all students in my school had a netbook and all teachers had a laptop. And that was what the grant gave them. And, those devices were old and slow, and they weren't going to invest any more money into them. So we went, the Google side. So we transitioned over to G Suite for Education and Chromebooks. And then
when was that?
Our transition over to Google and Chromebooks was maybe 3 years ago. So the grant that they got was probably maybe 5, 6 years ago.
Okay.
So we actually we started rolling out Chromebooks back then on every grade level. So one grade level got Chromebooks the first year, and then the second grade level got Chromebooks, and then the last grade level got Chromebooks the following year.
Okay.
And now we have one cart of Chromebooks in each classroom, which each cart has about 15 Chromebooks.
So the students like grab a Chromebook when they need it, basically.
Yeah. And the teacher, the teacher has a Chromebook or laptop, and so they're using the Chromebook devices now. So we actually transitioned over from netbooks from Windows 7 into Chromebooks using the Chrome OS and G Suite for Education. So we transitioned over, and that actually went well, I have to say, between providing professional development to the teachers on using G Suite. The Chromebooks was a whole different world. Some teachers, they don't have Chromebooks. They decided to keep their laptop, which is fine, because they could still access G Suite. But the kids adjust more quickly than the adults do, So they they found that the Chromebooks were much easier to use. There's a couple things that they need to learn, and when I go into the classroom, I teach them how to use the touchpad and show them some sure with that, but they catch on very quickly. So
yeah,
our transition to that was good, but until we got carts in each room, we implemented a BYOD policy. So students can use their phones and tablets in our school to complete their work or assessments or whatnot, and turn them in Google Classroom or whatever. So we do have that also in our school. So we have a multi-device environment with BYOD plus Chromebook. So and we have iPads. So it's challenging.
Yeah, lots of different devices and different platforms as well. Whoa.
Yeah, it's a lot. Like, we have a tech department that manages, a lot of it. And then I'm the liaison between the tech department and the teachers. So, if there's a need that the teachers request, like maybe a software program or, a subscription or anything that they're looking for, I pass that along to the tech department. So I kind of act as the spokesperson, if you want to say, to the tech department for the teachers.
Yep.
So it's challenging, but it keeps you sharp. It keeps you engaged because it's
On your
always
toes,
changing. Yeah, it's always changing, and I love that part because it doesn't get. I'm not bored.
Yeah, right.
So it's good.
What about the Google educational offerings, like compared to the say Microsoft and Apple in the States? It seems that G Suite is doing pretty well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think my opinion is because it's affordable. Like,
Yeah, right.
schools can buy Chromebooks for $250
Mm-hmm.
or maybe $300 with the license to enroll them in their domain, and devices are cheap. Everything's accessible online, so that it's less for the tech department to have to maintain because everything's all whereas when we had the netbooks, you have to download, your policies and your anti-virus program and just different things that always had to be maintained by the tech department, which now with Chromebooks, you don't have to do that.
It seems that one of the major positive things about Chromebooks is just the fact that they are so easy to cope with for the administration folks. It seems.
Oh, definitely. They're much easier to manage. You just as a Google administrator, you log into the domain and you push the policies out to the devices, and within minutes the device gets the new policy.
Right.
They're automatically updated. The Chrome OS is automatically updated, so you don't have to worry about that. It's just a lot less administering, if you want to say.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I read somewhere that Google is now like one of the top providers for education. They surpassed Microsoft and Apple. So yeah, I tend to agree with your statement. A lot of schools are definitely going, the Google way, the Chromebook way, just because I think it's more affordable.
Yeah, right. What about talking about these huge US companies? What about the Microsoft offerings like Office 365? Have you tried that, or your way around that as well?
I am all Google. I'm the Google girl.
Google. Okay.
No, I don't. Honestly, I don't use Microsoft Office anymore. So everything I do is.
I was actually, when I said Office 365, I was thinking about their cloud offerings for the educational sector.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Microsoft Office 365 and what they offer.
It's pretty much the same.
Is it?
I think. Yeah, pretty much. The way to do things is a lot different, of course, and there are some I think there are some really major differences if you dig deep. But I think what you get as a customer is not very much different, I think.
I know at one point Microsoft had a Google Classroom version for Microsoft, but I don't really know anything about how, what's the difference and how the interface is or anything like that. I just read an article about it that, they created that same type of platform.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, they have to keep up with it.
That's right.
Yeah, it's all a competition thing,
It is. Here in my home turf, there is a decision to be made in my school district this spring, and that decision is all about if the schools will be offered the Google educational offerings or those from Microsoft. And no, we have no idea which way they'll go, but I've been involved in this comparison for almost half a year now. It's been interesting for sure, and of course, like I haven't been working with Office 365 either. I know a little bit about that since way back, but here in my school, we've been running G Suite. I still have a hard time saying G Suite. That's a lousy name. For some 4 years now. So comparing those two, it's not easy when you are fully invested in one of them. Of course, it's hard to make some kind of a fair comparison, really.
Yeah, but they're going to come to you because you're the expert. You're the technology expert. So
I don't know what kind of an expert I am. I'm not always too sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, I like, the cost, the costs, how much it's going to cost to change over, and the devices that they're going to need to support that all comes into play. And then, I guess, it's just a matter of getting your team together and trying to come up with the pros and cons of each one.
Sure, that's it.
Yeah. I honestly don't know anyone who really uses Microsoft Office 365. Everyone that I associate with is more using, G Suite.
Well, that's the way it works, actually. If you are in the thick of it, that's the same thing for me. Most colleagues that I'm in contact with, like in professional capacity, whatever, work-wise, they are also interested in or use Google offerings. Sure.
Yeah.
But I guess if you are in the other camp, then then it's different.
It's different. Yeah. Did you talk to anybody did you find anybody that uses that Office 365 and get their opinions on it?
Sure. I mean, they have been from higher up in the hierarchy here. They've been in touch with school districts using both G Suite and Office 365. And I know some folks as well who use Microsoft products. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. Of course, like here in my home turf, pretty much all schools have Microsoft products. These days, everyone, am I lying now? I don't think I am. Pretty much everyone has, both teachers and students, they have PCs. And I mean, then of course, they are running Windows. And the tech folks are used to Windows products. Lots of the applications used, like behind the scenes, are Microsoft products as well. So I mean, considering that, it's not a huge step implementing their cloud services.
Yeah, I mean, because you have to take all that into consideration too,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How much of a transition is it going to be? And yeah, and all those other applications, they all have to mesh well and be compatible with with Microsoft Office 365. So yeah, I mean, that's a lot to consider because that's a major change. So
Sure.
yeah, you're like you said, it's good to take your time and get a team of people to evaluate and talk with, and you got to let me know what you guys decide.
Yeah, I will.
Which
Actually,
direction you go in.
it's not up to me for one little bit. It's completely off my hands. I've been just like, giving my views the best I can to those who call the shots.
Yeah, that's
That's the deal.
What type of devices are your students using?
Like I said, everyone has a PC in my school district. All the schools, all the students, all the teachers, they have laptop PCs provided by the school district.
Okay, and they're all running like Windows 7 or?
Yeah, 7, I think soon 10.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because the PCs or laptops that are left at my school, they're all running Windows 7. They never jumped to Windows 8 because Windows 8 was not a very stable OS. So
I'm not even sure about the versions of those. I don't much care. They just as long as they do what they're supposed to do, I'm fine with it. And I use a Mac daily as well, so I go between Macs and Windows PCs all the time. Sometimes I hit some weird key combinations. Things happen. What the heck, But anyway, I like it that somehow it's a good thing if you have some kind of a bird's eye view. And I sure hope that the students would get that as well, so they wouldn't be like locked into one and only ecosystem, whatever that is. I mean, even though I'm used to the Google side of things now, so I do hope that when the students move on from here, they are not afraid to use whatever comes their way.
Yeah,
I
no,
think it's
exactly.
pretty important.
I agree. They need to adapt to whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's now, do you in your school district or your school, do they teach computer science education there?
Computer science education, guess not. All of this information technology stuff has been like built in the various subjects, or that has been the goal, at least.
Okay.
I guess it's been working well in different ways. Sometimes better, sometimes worse, I think. But sure, it's coming more and more into the curriculum, like the perhaps not like programming and computer science as such, necessarily not that much, but the way of thinking. Heck, I'm at loss of words. What's the expression used for computational thinking or whatnot?
Thinking, right?
Yeah. So that's coming definitely in the Nordic area, generally speaking.
Okay.
Lots about that. Lots of discussions and lots of discussions about programming also, that it should be like there should be more of that, even with younger kids.
Yeah.
I don't know, programming, I don't know, but the way to the way to think or use whatever like problem solution models that are used in computer science, that is absolutely necessary, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. I have computer science education, and I try to I'm trying to implement coding and in the classes that I go into, using, you know, robots and games and different things, and so that they get those skills, you know, exposed in skills, critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration's a big one.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
huge one.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, and then we use we have in the States, there's a national movement called like Computer Science Education Week. It's usually in December. So during that week, every year I've been getting and trying to implement coding in their classroom. So, you know, you would use, you know, code.org or Scratch or Google's CS First. This year we used Python and EarSketch to code and make music. Some other teachers used CodeMonkey or Learning.com because they were having a codeathon, so we participated into that. But yeah, I think it's important just to get the kids exposed to it at a younger age instead of middle school, having it exposed the first time, because these kids need those skills to be able to have some kind of career in their future.
Sure.
You know,
even
so,
if they will not be programmers, they need that anyway, I guess.
Yeah, they definitely need to have, you know, because a lot of the things that they're doing is, you know, problem solving, critical thinking, you know, logical thinking.
That's the key, I think.
Yeah, and it doesn't STEM is all those skills. So it doesn't necessarily have to be coding or programming. It could be, you know, in science and math, and you know, it's all around those.
You're right. Talking about all of this stuff, you mentioned that you are into using games, thinking, and all that with the students there, and something that's kind of interesting to me as well. The block cells thingy. What's that? Tell me a little bit about that.
That I was intrigued with that last year. It's a game that you use to create. Well, let me back up. Bloxels is a 21st century game that allow you to incorporate coding and all these different skills, and you can it's like it could be used for digital storytelling. It could be used for you know, science, maybe illustrating different topics like volcanoes. I've used it in math class for students to write and solve equations. And right now I'm using it in science for digital storytelling. So what it is you create a video game and you lay out.
Is this it, Kim?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yep. And what you do is you use their app, and the app can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or iTunes, and it's free. And you create rooms, and you create backgrounds, and you create boards that allow all these different objects to be included in your game. And your game can consist of up to 169 rooms. So Bloxels is very similar to like a Super Mario game where the kids have to go through each room or each world, and they get rewards and they encounter enemies, and at the end the ultimate goal is to capture the flag and then get to the princess, right? So I mean, you can think of Bloxels as that type of platformer game. So I'm implementing this right now with 6th grade science students, and they're illustrating their journey through the solar system, and they have to illustrate facts about their inner planets and their outer planets that they were researching, and their journey through space. Cool. So it's really cool. I actually have.
This is a commercial operation. Like, what's the pricing about that?
What's what? I didn't hear you.
The pricing for school? How
Oh,
much do
okay.
you pay?
So the game is $49.95, I think. But the price could vary. It could be cheaper.
Mhm.
But it's $49.95, I think, and it's on Amazon. So if you go to Amazon, you can find it there. I recently got a grant from our PTA, so now I have a classroom set of Bloxels, and you have to use it with, like I said, with a device that you need the app. You need to download the app onto a mobile device, an iPad or an Android tablet. Build your world or your games or your rooms on the physical board with the blocks, or you can do it through the app.
All right.
And so it's really engaging. The students so far really like it. I've used it in STEM class, math class, English, and now in science. So it's really, I find the students are really engaged. They really like touching the blocks and putting the blocks onto the physical board,
Yeah.
And
I like that connection to the physical world.
Yeah, they need to touch something,
Yeah.
and that's, I didn't have to get the boards, but because they can do it all in the app, but I think they need to touch something, and then they're
Agreed.
more engaged,
Yeah.
So that's been really working out nicely. I actually have on my YouTube channel, I have a playlist for Bloxels. I'll grab it for you and put it in the group chat.
Great.
And
Thanks.
yeah, and I'll upload, like, I already have, let me go grab it real quick. Hold on a second.
Where did you hear about this? Did you find it on your own, or got a tip from a colleague or something?
I actually got this from, I attended a conference last year, and I heard about it at the conference.
Okay.
So that's where I learned about it. But I gotta find my videos. Hold on. And so where is it? Playlist. So this is the link to the Bloxel video that I did in sixth grade language arts class. Students were working on an Ellis Island narrative. So they researched how immigrants come to the United States, what were some of the obstacles that they encountered, and what they had to do when they arrived. And I just recorded this as the student was presenting it.
Okay.
So that's just the video.
Yeah.
But as I finish with the science class, I'm going to upload their videos to my playlist. So
yeah.
Do you want the playlist link, or
I can.
Or you can subscribe to my channel.
Yeah, sure. I should be able to find you easily enough, I think.
Okay.
I can do that. Yeah, coming into the United States is not that easy today either, it seems.
No, it's not.
For heaven's sake.
Ay. Let's not talk politics. I know. But yeah, so the game...
Things get complicated.
It is. Nothing's ever easy.
Yeah.
But this game is I would highly recommend this game. It could be used at any grade level, honestly, and it's supposed to be very easy for students to learn and create quickly, and I would recommend anyone to try it. It's
really interesting to me, all the stuff about educational games, especially since we have this project application for European Union funding, with three countries that have applied to the funding for working with gamification kind of things in education. So it'll be interesting. We'll get to know the decision sometime in August, I believe.
Okay.
So exciting.
Yeah.
And if we get that, then shoot, I'll get back to you for sure.
Yeah,
about this.
definitely. I mean, I would be happy to help you out because every time, like, I'm not an expert at this. I'm using this, and I am not a
Sure.
gamer. Like, I have no patience for games at all.
I'm
So
not a gamer either.
I am not a gamer, but every time I implement this in with students, I learn something new. So I feel more and more confident with this app, with the you know, I'm actually on the BSoA EDU ambassador team.
All right.
So I'm trying to present them with what I'm doing with BSoAs in class and share my resources with them also. So, you know, they can share with other educators as well. But it's it's amazing, you know, how the students, they want to teach you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They like having that that role. So if I ask them to show me something, hey, how'd you do this? They have no problem showing me because really it's their world. You know what I mean?
Sure.
They feel more comfortable in that. So I'm telling you, I would highly recommend it.
Cool.
Highly recommend,
Very nice.
especially
Very
with
nice.
special education students. They seem to really be hooked on it.
Super interesting. We'll definitely look
Yeah.
into that. That's
Yeah.
for sure. And you are in the Google educational team as well, like big time. I'm just trying to, look and learn myself. But I mean, you are really in the thick of that, huh?
Yeah, I mean that team, you're on that team also, and that team is great. I mean,
Seems so, yeah.
I learned so much from that team and that forum and reading, you know, people's problems and trying to help them. And you know, if I don't know something, I ask, you know, I ask the
Sure.
team for assistance because,
Sure.
you know, we're not all experts. That's why we're a team, you
Yeah.
know.
It's
That
amazing, really. I must say, really amazing how much time and effort many of the top contributors put into helping others at the forum. So wow, I mean, whoa, I could never pull it off like many others do.
Yeah, I agree. You know, like right now I've been so busy at work. I just feel like, you know, I haven't been given as much time to it as I would
Yeah.
like. I
Well, I
try to
mean,
get in
life
there.
happens. Life happens.
Yeah,
That's not,
exactly. You know, and I try to get in there. If I can't answer questions, I try to get in there and mark responses as best answers so that
yeah.
those tickets are closed, you know. So I'm trying to give my time into that, either marking answers or responding. But that team is wonderful. I mean,
It is. It is.
they do a nice job and you know, collaborating and having the group chat available, and then they have the monthly meetings, monthly Google Hangout meetings to keep us
Yeah.
informed on what's going on,
It's
and
tough.
everyone's just
The
really
timing is
helpful.
tough. The timing of those is hard for me,
Yeah, because
unfortunately.
they're on, you know, like Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, like in the middle of
So
the night for me.
yeah, so that's hard.
I need my beauty sleep.
I hear you.
Need it bad. Some people tell me.
I hear you. Now you look fine. But you know what? Honestly, like I got into that because I just felt like something more to try to keep myself like updated with what's
Yeah,
going on in the Google world. Like I say, because I find that to be very challenging, and that definitely has satisfied that craving for me. Is just, you know, going in and just helping people, and because it keeps your mind sharp and
absolutely.
thinking, you
Yeah,
know, and that's definitely for me. It's and all the time when I go in there and help people. So it's like a pay it forward kind of thing for me.
yeah, yeah. I try to do that in the mornings when, like work schedule permitting. I get to work pretty early most times, actually really early, and I like kind of getting settled for the day and go through my stuff. And if I have the time, then I try to see if there are some answers that I might try to take a shot at. And well, I must always check a little bit of the background anyway. It's rare, even though I use, say, Classroom daily. I need to check it anyway, and most of the questions, like 99%, are in English anyway. So I need to check that as well. Perhaps switch the language to English or whatnot.
Yeah. No.
By the way, how did you get into the Google educational sphere from the beginning? Did it just happen that you started working at a school where folks were using this, or were you interested in that even before?
Because I'm a technology integration coach and I provide so much professional development. And at that time, we were just transitioning over into Google.
Yeah.
I decided to train and take the courses and prepare to take the trainer exams. And that's how I started, basically, because I provide so much professional development for staff at my school district that I was able to use my trainer status with my job. And it's actually part of my job. Like it looks good because we are a G Suite for Education school district, and I'm the only trainer in the school. So it gives our school district a lot of advantages, because we get to pilot a lot of new features that are coming out, and we get a little bit of the bells and whistles, and the school gets the benefits of it. So
sure.
That's how I started.
Yeah, you got a bunch of Google certifications, right?
Yeah, so I started as still a trainer, so you have to reapply for that every year, and you have to maintain your trainer status. So you have to have, in order to become a trainer, you have to take the exams. You have to create a video, and you have to show like a case study.
How much work was that for you?
A lot of it was, the case study was not as much, because that we have to do like SGO, student growth objectives, in the New Jersey. So in order for me to do my case study, I was able to take my student growth objectives and use that for my application.
Okay, good.
So that was good. The most time-consuming part of it was the 5 tests, the 5 exams that I had to take. And then you had to create like a
online exams.
That wasn't hard, know. But then you apply and be accepted. And the application process is only open a certain time of the year, certain amount of time. And then if you don't get accepted, you have to apply like the next time it's open again.
Right.
So at first, and then last summer I did the certification for educator level 1 and 2, because if I'm going to train teachers on how to become certified educators level 1 and 2, I needed to take the exams myself.
It makes sense.
So I did that, and last summer, and those certifications are good for 18 months. So I try to keep up with everything so that I'm current too, and it's good. It keeps you abreast on what's going on. It's definitely not stagnant. So, which is good. You don't want that as a trainer. You want to be able to be on your toes, kind of.
Absolutely.
So that, the recertification process may be inconvenient, but in the end, I feel it's only making you better, because they may be asking you things in the recertification that you may not be aware of, or so you're always trying to to learn how you can stay on top of things and how you can be better. So I always find it to be, beneficial.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would like to try something like that, perhaps one day. But
even if you try the educator level 1, that's for the educator level. They're designed for teachers in the classroom. Level 1 is more of a beginner part, and level 2 is a little bit more advanced. But you should try it. If you go to the website, the training website for Google, there's information there. Training materials. They'll prepare you for free, and then you take the exams. The first exam I think is $10, and then the second exam I think is $25. And once you pass it, you're good for 18 months.
All right.
Yeah, and it's actually not bad because both exams are hands-on. So you read it, you respond for that scenario, and they give you like a dummy account. They send you the credentials, you log in with those credentials, and then you create whatever they're asking you through this dummy account. And everything is really it's time consuming. Don't think you're gonna go through it quickly, but it's time consuming, but it's all hands on.
Yeah, right. Like if I'd be working, if there'd be more of my time at work would be related to educational technology, I would definitely do that. But at present, it's priorities. It's tough.
It's tough. Hard. Yeah, it's hard. And that, like with those exams, it's tricky because they give you 3 hours to take it, and you can't leave your computer. You have to stay in front of your computer.
You're stuck.
Yeah, you're stuck because the webcam's on, and they want to make sure you're really taking the test. So.
Oh man, that's heavy duty.
Yeah. They revamped it, and actually I think the training for certificate and the educator level 1 and 2 is definitely improved. That they did a good job with revamping the whole thing. So, but if you ever get a chance to take it, I would recommend doing level 1, because if you're already using G Suite for Education, there's not going to be that much in there that you don't already know.
Nah, I guess not. And I mean, shoot, I implemented G Suite. Well, it wasn't called G Suite back then. Obviously, it was
GAF.
GAF. That sounds weird too. GAF. Google Apps, way back then, and well, I learned a lot by doing that. Like I said, I did it 100% on my own, except that I got a lot of support from colleagues in other parts of the country and different parts of the world as well, which is always fun.
Yeah.
But those things, I'm almost already forgetting lots of that. That's too bad. It's like you say, you should keep updated about all that somehow, but heavens, not easy.
It's not easy, It's definitely not, but that's why if you don't use it, you lose it,
That's the way it works. That's the way it works. And now you'll be starting you have already started like a YouTube live hangout and air show on your own with a colleague of yours, right? We must talk about that before we quit here.
Yeah, that's a whole nother learning curve for me. So I appreciate your guidance on that too.
Well, heavens, I don't know that much either, but well, some hands-on tips perhaps.
Yeah, no, it's so Brian Costello and I we host the Sweet Talk. And
right.
Sweet Talk. So
I like.
Actually, I can't take credit for the name. He came up with that name. So, but our next show is actually going to be Wednesday, April 26th at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And
okay.
We're basically it's a quick, short, simple show.
Like 20, 30 minutes.
About 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
That's kind of what I want to try to stay at. And we're going to talk about, the most popular G Suite for Education updates at that time.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to keep up with the updates that Google comes out with all the time. Mm-hmm. But, we pick, I pick one update, he picks one update, and we talk about it. And then we talk about an app of the week. So we pick an app of the week.
Are you guys located in the same part of the country or thousands of miles apart or something?
Yeah, no, we're both in New Jersey. So, yeah. So South Jersey. So
you never know in this context. It really doesn't matter too much either if you can just cope with the time zones, which is a mess.
Yeah, no, I hear you. But fortunately, we both are in New Jersey. So it makes it easy. Yeah. So our first show we had, I think it was April 5th or whatnot. And now we're going to have our second show, April 26th. So, it's just another avenue to try to get people, inform people of what's going on with Google and provide some technology integration tips on how you can use them in your school and in your classroom, and showcase, an app of the week, something that's new in,
makes good sense. Makes good sense for sure.
Yeah, and I try to my goal is to keep the show short.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to be an hour show, a 5-minute show. I want it to be between 30, maybe 35 minutes.
Yeah, especially if it's about like hands-on tips. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, because honestly, like, time is precious.
Yeah, you bet.
So after the show's over, like, I compile the show notes.
And that takes time.
That takes time, but we have an agenda. So I take the agenda, we know what we're talking about, and then I take the agenda and I just edit the agenda to make it like a public show notes.
Right.
And then I post it on our website. Yeah. And
you got to streamline the workflow, otherwise it's no go.
It's no go. Yeah, and I like, because I need documentation because I forget.
Who doesn't, huh?
Yeah. So I try to document everything so that it's consistent and that the video is on our website and the show notes. So I'm trying to come up with some workflow, and this is new for both of us. Like, we're not, we've always used Google Hangouts. We never hosted. So this is a whole new workflow for both of us. We're both excited about it. And,
I really feel the on-air thing is one of the really, really great Google offerings. And it's not a surprise that they brought it out from Google Plus, just like they did with Photos, since those two actually are really, really super duper great.
Yeah, I agree. It's a nice feature to have. It's free. It's easy. So
I don't think there's anything comparable actually, considering that you can stream like unlimited to an unlimited basically number of people.
Right.
I don't think there's anything like that available for anyone for more or less free.
Yeah. Free, yeah. I mean, if you're going to pay for it, that's one thing. I'm sure you can find something more sophisticated.
Sure. Oh yeah.
But for free, I mean, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
And it's nice because it goes right to your YouTube channel.
Absolutely. Are you guys thinking of considering turning that into a traditional podcast as well?
I definitely want to do that. I got to look into it and see what is involved with doing that. I honestly, I feel I want to get this workflow down first before I venture off into a podcast. I want to try to build, an audience first.
Yeah.
And then go in that direction. I mentioned it to Brian, and he seemed like he's interested in it too. So it's going to be a learning curve for us, because I don't have any experience creating a podcast. So this whole thing is a learning curve. So
yeah,
and
it's not complicated actually. It is complicated. It is as complicated as you want to make it in a way. But if you just want to do the go the easy way, so I mean, I download the video and rip the MP3 out of it, and there we go.
But do
And,
you host it on? Do you host it on like iTunes or?
well, yeah. I've been doing some different things earlier. There was this like a Hangout on Air podcast combo that I did for Europe, for the European Union, for a while, and that was available, like for subscription through iTunes. But now I have started turning these sessions to audio podcast as well, and like this is BSmart on Air isn't available like through iTunes as well. Will be this session as well, this episode. So it's under the what do I call it? I call it On Air with Niilo.
Okay.
So I have like two shows, if you like. BSmart on Air, oh, what a name, in English, obviously, and then I have another one that's in Swedish, and I have both of them there.
Okay.
So
I might have to ask your advice on how to do this.
I'm glad to help if I can. I've been using SoundCloud now. It's a free service if you don't have that many hours to upload, but they are bleeding money. So whatever happens with SoundCloud later on in the future, that is anyone's guess.
Yeah.
And of course, there are a couple of well-established services like hosting providers that provide podcast hosting, Libsyn especially, and what's the other one? Blueberry.
Okay.
And they work just great. I've tried Libsyn, and it's an excellent service, really.
Okay.
And it's not awfully expensive, but you got to pay some.
Yeah. I mean, I'm expecting that, that there's going to be a cost to it.
Yeah, sure. It's not big money for a school. Definitely not if it's done like in that context. It's it's nothing. It's like coffee money.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
So that's what it is.
Yeah.
Now, of course, your show might be a bit special, since I'd guess you'll have lots of screen share and all that, and that really doesn't translate extremely well into audio only.
Yeah. And I'd like to try to podcast it, but I just feel like I have to get this workflow down and make sure that I feel comfortable with it. But yeah, because if we do screen sharing and everything like that, obviously that's not going to be part of. You're not going to be able to see that on the podcast,
Nah. So
yeah,
I don't know, but of course I believe it might be easier to reach folks if you also have a traditional audio podcast.
Yeah, I agree.
YouTube is a special beast somehow.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're right, and I see a lot of educators, going that way too here, and people that that are in my PLN anyway. They're using podcasting, and so I see that direction is becoming very popular too. So
sure.
Maybe by September, I don't know. Honestly, I'm just excited right now that we got the Sweet Talk up and running, and we're gonna have another show next week. And to me right now, that's
sweet.
That's
all right,
fun.
I'm telling you.
You like it, huh?
Listen, it's been great talking to you, and
yeah, I'm so happy that
really
we
appreciate
met.
So much fun, since we've been in touch a little bit, like through the forums and all that. So it's really fun to talk with you, and I'll be talking with have a chat with Fred as well.
Oh yeah.
Later on in the spring, so I'm looking forward to that. Really cool.
Yeah, no, I it was a pleasure talking to you today, and I'm so happy that we had this meetup. It was really fun, and now at least I feel like I know you. You know,
Yeah.
not
Yeah, right.
just typing back and forth. It's nice to actually
Absolutely.
see your face, and
It makes a difference. Makes a
it
difference.
definitely does. So
Before we wrap up here, I just might try sharing my screen as well. Why not put your one of your websites? Which one? The Tech Lady? Would that be something to show all the thousands of people
let me get it
watching here?
Oh, are
Is
you
this
going to
it?
show it? Wait a second. That's
You see it?
that's my blog. Yep.
That's your blog. Okay. And that is well, if anyone Googles the Tech Lady, though, most probably they'll find this, huh?
Yeah. Yep. That's definitely my blog. And if they
What
go
else?
to the Tech Lady Express.
I had it somewhere here. Let's see. Is it one word, Tech Lady Express?
No, all separate words.
Oh man.
I am sorry.
Tech Lady. I just Google it. Tech Lady.
Yeah, just Google it. Just Google it.
Express. There we go. And that's a Google site, huh?
Yeah, so the Google site comes up,
There we go.
and then you have to click on the link to go to the new version.
Okay, let's click to the new version before I share my screen. Aha, that's it. Let's see if I manage to do that. Darn, this mouse of mine is kind of weird. Screen share, express, share, present, should be in the outgoing feed as well. That's it, huh?
Yep, that's it. Yep. And then if you click on the Sweet Talk page,
let's see.
I just added that into
up here.
the website. That's our Sweet Talk.
That is definitely extremely sweet.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So that'll give you the YouTube channel, and then you can click on that to go to the website from there. So
is this the new Google sites, by the way? It is, huh?
Say that again.
Is this the new version of Google Sites you've been using here?
Yes, this is the new version of Google Sites. Isn't it pretty?
It is amazing.
They did a nice job. They did a nice job with the new version. I'm impressed.
It seems so. I haven't done anything much with that, but it seems really easy to work with. So cool.
Yeah, it's click and drag. It's really easy. So,
alrighty. Any famous last words before we call it quits?
No, thank you for having me today, and it was a pleasure meeting you and speaking. To do it again soon.
Absolutely.
And after you get Bloxels,
yeah, right. Bloxels. I must check that.
Definitely.
It was fun.
It was fun. Thank you, Niilo. You have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Bye.
Bye.